Hello everybody, my name is Kart and welcome to Swordhaven Iron Conspiracy. This caught my eye on Steam because it reminds me of a lot of my favorite games like Baldurs and Icewind and all those sort of things that you are familiar with if you're a regular on the channel. So, I want to check it out. Let's start a new game. I will play as a man. Ged of Sagune. Oh, let's do some random name. I like this one. Rivlin of Cloudstrand. Choose your background. Let's see what kind of background bonuses we get. Strength, bladed weapons. Could be good. Attention. Oh, can I like hover over and see what they do? Or do we need to figure that out in skills? I mean, you can basically guess what they do so far. Outdoorsmanship, stealth and bluff. So attention is probably like perception in familiar games. Wade a lot. What is a wade a lot? The dragon cult's priests. Okay, so this is more like a monk cleric type character because of the martial arts. Bandits. Nah. You know, I like personality driven characters, but I'm gonna go with adventurer or noble, I think. Let's go with noble. Try that. Alright, we have some attribute points. We have 4. Can I... yeah, I can. Take away the existing ones. I already have a balanced build, and I have my skills coming in very, very slowly. But I think we're gonna go with one there. I do want some attention and personality, but I'm not gonna be like the tank, I think. And I don't think I will... Ooh, I get skill points on level up. That's a good thing. Let's go take away one of there. Get 2 in personality, 2 in attention. Let's just go with that for now. Once I learn more about the game, maybe we'll get to increase these on level ups or some such. Onwards to skills. Alright, so I got a bonus in these because of my background. Bladed weapons, intimidation, and outdoorsmanship. I think we will be like a sword fighter type guy. Maybe a fencer, nah. Maybe a two-handed sword guy. That will go well with the intimidation. But I also want more persuasion. I like me some persuasion. Let's get that up to 35. Get that up to an even 45. And what else? Outdoorsmanship. I'm pretty sure if outdoorsmanship is a thing, we might get like a ranger type character to join us, maybe. So for now, I think I'm gonna stay with my strength. And I'll stay away from ranged. Maybe even go further into bladed weapons. So I get more accuracy by hitting the journeyman level. And maybe... maybe some bluff could be cool. And then I'll put the rest in persuasion. As always, I like to be the face of the party, the charming character. If that is a thing. I mean, it seems like it because of persuasion and everything. Let's go next. Choose my distinction. Aha. Your character is seriously overweight, or obviously overweight. Gives me more personality, persuasion, and haggling, but gives me bone or negatives in or penalties in fighting. Level-headed leader. 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 Level-headed leader I don't have to choose a distinction if I don't want to. That is good to know. So I get bone or penalties besides in personality, but my teammate gets a lot of pluses. That could be an interesting way to go. But I don't think that fits well with a swordsman type character. Maybe someone in the back line. So I think not. Your character is taller and slimmer. Nah. No eagle-eyed. That's ranged weapons. Heavy-handed. I get a negative in things that I don't like. Besides outdoorsmanship, but that's not gonna be my specialty. But I do get bonuses in strength and intimidation, which could be cool. Let's take that for now. And see what else we got here. Endurance. Less in bluff and persuasion, no. Short of stature, smaller than average guy, more like a thief character. Nope. Sole survivor. Oh, that is a lot of... this is more like the reverse of a level-headed leader. I get all the bonuses, and everyone around me gets penalties. Now, let's go with heavy-handed. Abilities. Bladed weapons. What can I... I can choose the ones I learned. And I need to learn these two before I unlock the higher tier. We got dagger, we got sword, and we got two-handed sword. Let's go with a... I have 1 point. Counterattack or maximum weapon damage. I think we'll go with that one. I had these other ones as well, but those are not going to be interesting for me. We're going to be a two-hander. We have a portrait to choose from. Is there anyone that looks anything like me? I mean, he's a bit older, but he has the hairstyle. I don't like the beard, but it's the closest thing I can see. So let's go with that one. Appearance. Can I get a better representation of me? That would be cool. Let's get a cooler outfit. More befitting of a warrior. I think this one is good. It looks more like a thief type. Or a assassin, or maybe. Either way, let's go with that. Can I get a better beard? That's a nice beard. Is there any better beard? That was a bit too big. Let's go with this beard. Pretty accurate. And let's go next.
Yes.
What do you want?
I'm here.
Huh?
Number 2. Let us get... Ooh, hello. And we got hard. Party members can die. I mean, depending on if it's a full playthrough or one-off, that could affect the choice here. But I think we're gonna go with normal. Ooh, I can do isometric or 3D. I'm gonna go with isometric. Let's start.
Countless eons have passed since our ancestors traveled to the Promised Land from the Land of Calamity. Eons still have they wandered, aimlessly and scattered. Only when Shershet, the last prophet proclaimed the dragon's rule from atop the sacred mountain, had our purpose become unobscured, our destinies manifest. United by faith, great rulers of the past bounded petty kingdoms into the mighty Cordonian Empire, a new center of civilization and a launching point for many voyages of exploration and conquest. That is how the barbaric land, later dubbed Nova Draconia, was discovered, and in it the magical Balta ore, the world's only source of pale iron, renowned for its unique strength and temper. A century later, Nova Draconia has been crowned by the port city of Swordhaven, and at least partially tamed. But this land of mystery and danger yet calls to the adventurous souls from every corner of the known world. It is with one such adventurer that our tale begins.
Bound for Nova Draconia, captained by veteran sea dog Vergon III. Your destination is Swordhaven. Gulls shriek and squawk overhead as the salt wind caresses your brow. A new life, new adventures. Whatever awaits, you're ready to face it.
Find your cabin.
The accommodations are modest, but livable. The flow of air from an open porthole keeps the space cool, and the hammock comes with a complimentary pillow. A grain sack stuffed with straw. There's even a table with writing implements, useful for updating your journal.
So I can use my skills already. That's useful to know. Let's get to know the other passengers first. That's an action, so I don't get any... Or I can explore the ship too. Let's explore
The
it.
ship is a large trade carrack, built for stability on heavy seas and big enough to carry a significant amount of cargo, along with provisions for extended voyages.
But that's not all, is it?
Below decks, you find an open crate full of chains and shackles, of a type made for human beings. It seems Captain Vergon is not only a simple merchant.
Let's ask the captain about these chains. Use my persuasion.
Though reluctant at first, the captain eventually admits that he has a contract to transport prisoners from the mainland to the Balta ore mines in Nova Draconia. However, he insists the ill-fated wretches destined to work and die there are enemies of the crown, condemned for treason. With that, he presses his lips tight. There's no more to be learned on that topic. At least, not until you reach Swordhaven.
I wonder how many of these I can go through. But let's get to know the other passengers.
This is a merchant vessel, also Captain Vergon claims, so the passenger manifest is short. To be precise, there are 6, excluding yourself. Fiona, a young musician in search of adventure. Nostra, a fiery one-eyed warrior. Nicodemus, a renowned scholar. Jehemo, a quick-witted southern sellsword. Gintar, a pious knight of the Empire. And finally, Zanfor, a kindly old man who mostly keeps to himself.
These could be characters that I can recruit eventually. At least one of them could be determined by the choice I just make right now. Hopefully I can get to meet more of them. But out of these, let's go with Nicodemus.
Nicodemus Pinecone is a scholar from the land of Malvia. Since ancient times, the Malvian Peninsula has been the Empire's center of learning and home to the largest library in the land. It's no surprise, then, that Nicodemus is visiting Nova Draconia to conduct scientific research, or so he claims.
Okay, so I can choose more than one. Maybe I can get to know them all. But I will assume that there's going to be like a limit So I'm gonna go with like my ranking of the people I'm more interested in. So next up, Fiona.
An adventurous bard from the faraway kingdom of Muir-Orm, Fiona de Quinlan, is planning to strike it big in Nova Draconia's capital, Swordhaven. The idea had been stewing in her head for a long while, and recently she acquired the means to pay for the long voyage.
All right. Then I will talk to Zanfors, the kindly old man.
Zanfors claims to be a low-ranking imperial official, though he's well educated in subjects ranging from history to astronomy. When you've spent some time talking to the old man, he tells you you're full of untapped potential. Quite flattering.
Thank you. Gemahor, I believe he was a pious knight or something. Let's check it out.
Gemahor the Eel is a traveling sellsword.
Ah,
From the
sellsword.
faraway Kufadian archipelago. Gregarious and jovial, his speech is steeped in sentimentality and cynicism. It's hard to tell whether it's an affectation or his genuine nature.
The Nostra has to be the warrior, and Günther must be the pious Templar type paladin guy.
Gintar of Kuldinga is a knight from a landless noble family. He is deeply religious and often expresses his reverence for the divines, particularly the Empire's chief deity, the dragon. Gintar spends much of his time in meditation, and he claims he's traveling to Nova Draconia solely for spiritual reasons.
And finally, Nostra.
You don't learn much about Nostra Urheim. She's reluctant to talk about herself, and enjoys hearing about other people's problems even less. The only thing you know for certain, maybe, is that she's from the southern prairies.
They're grayed out, so I assume this will just be repetition, but I want to just make sure.
An adventurous bard from the faraway kingdom of Muir-Orm.
Okay, something else.
The ship rocks gently upon the calm sea.
Let's try to read a book, see what happens.
The hustle and bustle of shipboard life is too distracting for you to get any reading done. Oh well, hopefully there'll be more time to read once you're back on solid ground.
There was no, my ability wasn't enough for it.
Who do you wish to know? The ship
And I am
rocks
out of
gently upon
options.
the calm sea.
Let's go to sleep.
As the ship draws ever closer to your destination, you sometimes listen to the sailors' stories when they're off watch. They share all kinds of amusing anecdotes, from the commonplace to stories so outlandish they could only come from seafaring folk. Yet, whenever they speak of the weird comets above the Gulf of Swordhaven, or of warlocks practicing their craft in western Nova Draconia, Zanfors' face darkens. It seems he takes these topics very seriously. In the meantime, you...
I will help with the fishing or tend to the sick. I wonder if I will get a different, like, bonus or something. Let's help with the fishing.
Fishing on the open sea isn't as straightforward as it seems, but you learn a couple of useful tricks.
So I got a point in outdoorsmanship. Cool. Let's go to sleep.
A few days later, the vessel finally enters the stormy sea. True to its name, the dark waves slam relentlessly against the stern, causing the vessel to roll in a nauseating rhythm. The air is thick with the smell of salt and ozone as its heralds, the grim Malamuks, replace the cheerful seagulls to glide in eerie silence beneath the laden sky.
Let's get to know my fellow travelers more.
Many stories are shared in the relative comfort of the lower decks in the few days following. During one such gathering, a cabin boy, pale as death's maiden aunt, rushes down the companionway screaming between sudden peals of thunder, "There's a storm upon us!"
Take a peek outside.
You are not alone. Several crewmen are rushing around on deck. The other passengers have also come up, some fearful, some amused by the capricious weather. Captain Vergen roars out, "You must be out of your blasted minds! Get back down that hatch before..." A flash of light and an ear-splitting boom cuts him short. The lightning bolt, the grandfather of all lightning bolts, strikes the main mast, leaving you blind and deaf. You give your head a shake As your vision returns, you see other passengers still covering their ears, while the crew races to furl a burning sail. A section of the mast lies on the deck, just a few feet away. There's someone beneath it. You stagger towards the poor soul and discover it's Zanfors, an elderly fellow you had spoken to during the voyage.
Not Zanfors. Check on him.
As if bewitched, you fall to your knees beside the dying man. Zanfors fixes you with eyes watery from pain, and you lean closer to hear him over the stone. Take this, my friend. A bloody cough erupts from him as he produces something from his jacket, a mysterious amulet on a silver chain. Take it to Agranat the Enlightened in Swordhaven. I beg you, the fate of the world is at stake. Can it be true? How can the fate of the whole world depend on a cheap bit of jewelry?
I will do it, my friend.
Thank you. Zanfors' eyes roll back in his head, and his final breath escapes with a wheeze. You examine the amulet he gave you. It's a dark prism, within which a dim red light flickers. When you press your finger against one of its sides, the crimson glow seems to drift towards it, as if the object were alive and watching you.
A dark prism or a dark prison? Get up.
Still puzzled and disturbed by the urgency in the dying man's voice, you gingerly rise to your feet. The other passengers are all there, along with the captain, who surveys the destruction with an unreadable expression. Take heed now, me hearties. 'Tis here we must bid each other farewell. This old ship's in bad shape, and the place I must go don't allow no passengers. You and the others exchange troubled glances. Fear not. The shore's but a stone's throw away. We finally reached Nova Draconia. Well, except for that poor fellow over yonder. He spares a glance for Zanfors' corpse. The village is close by. Name of Clamreach. You can find shelter there after you land.
I would rather keep a courteous relationship with this captain. He might turn up to be useful later on. So thank you.
This new land is reputed to be dangerous. You should arm yourself before stepping into the shore boat Captain Vergen has graciously offered you.
I will take my grandfather's claymore. I probably should have read the noble background, yeah?
The thunderstorm ended as abruptly as it began. The sky once more blue and blank as a new slate. And as the sun begins its rise in the east, for the first time you see land ahead. Nova Draconia. With a parting salute to the crew, you hop down into the boat where the rest of the passengers are already waiting, and take the oars in hand.
After a rough landing, you and your fellow passengers meet the dawn gathering wood, kindling a fire, and preparing something to eat from the scant sea rations providently brought along. As you're about to take your leave and head for the village, a soft voice addresses you with a sing-song lilt. You stop and turn to your right. Leaving so soon, my lord? Fiona de Quinlan, a Troberitz? Is that some other name for a troubadour? Or a bard? From a faraway kingdom of Muir Orm, offers a winsome smile. I could stay a bit longer. But when you do decide to leave, could I accompany you? At least until we reach the village? I'd feel much safer in the company of the noble knights. How are you faring, Lady Fiona? The weather and other natural hardships don't frighten me, and I'm equally accustomed to human dangers. Most unwanted attention may be averted by a long cloak and a deep hood anyway. But if that doesn't suffice, then my crossbow comes into play. And if you think I don't know how to use it, you're making a big mistake, my lord. A mistake for which more than one rogue has paid dearly. Why did you come to Nova Draconia? To travel new lands and seek inspiration, of course. Sure. But why this place exactly? Allow me to answer with a question of my own. Why not? I've heard many intriguing stories about Nova Draconia, and when circumstances allowed it, I decided to embark and make my daydreams a reality. What do you make about this amulet? That certainly is a mysterious piece of bric-a-brac. You ought to take it to Swordhaven and find someone knowledgeable about things ancient and preternatural. Well then. I suppose you can come along. Magnifique. Just give me a few minutes to gather... Oh, who am I kidding? I have nothing to gather. Remind me, where is that village again? What was it called? Clamreach, I think? We need to follow the road through the forest, cross the river, I sure hope there's a bridge, and then head east at the first crossroad. Got it. Let's go already. Or nah, thank you. Better be courteous. Before we depart, that chest you were sitting on, is it yours? I assumed it belonged to another passenger. No, I asked around, but nobody's claiming it. The sailor must have stowed it in our boat by mistake. Ooh, we ought to see what's inside. Here, take this lockpick. If you can't crack it, let me try. Alright. Let's try to pick this lock.